Apart from these novels and newspapers and short story writers, you should also read some non-fiction books. Actually, before going to give you the list and telling you which novels, which short story, which non-fiction books and books on various topics should be read, I would like to tell you one thing, that what you do, that while reading any text, any book, whether you are reading a newspaper or a novel or a short story, make it a habit to keep the pen in your hand, or at least a highlighter in your hand. So whenever you come across an unknown word, you will put an underline under that word. You can put an underline there. And if you like certain statements, certain paragraphs, certain phrases, certain good expressions, then you can highlight those sentences, you can highlight that part of the text, and not just highlight the words and the particular part of a text, but after finishing the reading of a text, you should make the entries of those words and those statements and those paragraphs in your diary. So maintaining the diary of the text which you read is the best practice. This is one of the best practice. Why? Because in the future, because as soon as we read the text, we start forgetting the text. This is very natural. This is very obvious. That's why it is very difficult to recall everything that you read. It is very difficult to recall everything that you read. And that's why if you maintain a diary in which you write down the words and the best sentences which you highlight, then you will get a chance to revise it. In the future, whenever you will have the leisure time, you can open the diary and you can peruse through the pages and you can recall everything. So keeping highlighter, keeping a pen at the time of reading is the best practice. And the second best practice is maintaining your own diary. I do maintain my own diary. That is I have been teaching to the students of NET and SET, and it is very difficult to recall everything in the classroom. That's why I carry a small diary with me every time, and whenever I get the time, leisure time, I open the diary and I go through the pages, and suddenly I recall everything. That keep the knowledge, that keep the information very fresh in my mind. So this is one of the best practices for acquiring a good reading skill. And why do I recommend that you should read book review section or article sections from any newspaper? Because by reading those sections, you will come to know various innovative ways of expressing yourself. And you can opt those ways. Actually, what you should do, as we are not the native speakers of English language, do understand one thing, that our efforts will help us to acquire the language. And we have to take too much efforts because we do not listen to the language. We do not have proper exposure to the English language. And that is the reason what we should do, that we must put our 100% in learning the English language. But still, do keep one thing in mind, that we would never be able to express ourselves in the same way the English native speaker express themselves. Why? Because this is not our mother tongue. This is our second tongue. Or for some student who are listening to this lecture, English might be their third language because they had education, or they might have education in Marathi medium. For Marathi medium student, English is the third language. For English medium student, it is the first language, but it's not the mother tongue of most of the listeners. Not most of the listeners, but I know that who are listening to this lecture, their mother tongue is different from English. Means they do not have English as their mother tongue. Okay, so this is the thing. That's why you should read a newspaper, and in newspaper you will find innovative ways of expressing yourself. You should try to locate those expressions and try to use those expressions in your language. So be meticulous, be careful while you read a text. And that is why this pen or the marker will help you to locate those phrases, to locate those statements and those expressions. That is why I recommend that you should keep a diary, you should keep a highlighter with you whenever you read a text, and you should come to know which are the innovative expressions. You must be used to writing those expressions and writing those words into your diary, so that your diary will help you to acquire the English language very easily. It will become very feasible for you later on in the future. Actually, some people are voracious readers. They are avid readers. That's why they read a lot. That's why they are called avid readers or voracious readers. They can read at any time, anywhere. I have seen so many people that they devote their entire time in reading. But most of you are in hurry to finish the book, so that one more book can be added on your list and you can be proud of your lengthy list that I have read so and so many books. Okay, no problem. But do very much aware about the fact that just reading is not enough. Comprehension is very important. Reading without comprehension, reading without understanding is as useless as the myth of Sisyphus, or the work of Sisyphus. Sorry, not myth of Sisyphus, but work of Sisyphus. Sisyphus' work is useless and meaningless. It is tiresome. It is Herculean. It is industrious, but still it is useless and meaningless. So your reading without comprehension is as useless as the work of Sisyphus. So we don't want to be Sisyphus in reading. That's why I recommend that even if your reading is very slow, even if you haven't acquired the skill of reading very swiftly and you do not know how to read speedily, but still don't worry, because you are reading for comprehension, not for completing or finishing the reading. So by reading swiftly, you will be able to complete the book within 1 or 2 days. But after some days, you will forget the book. So don't read without understanding. Don't read without comprehension. Okay. Then I am coming back to fiction. So why should you read fiction? Actually, I also recommend students who are beginners. Actually, I don't believe in spoken English classes. This is my personal thing. It is not for opposing anybody or for offending anybody. I personally believe that no class will teach you how to speak in a particular language, and especially in the English language. Okay. So whenever students come to me, I recommend that they should start with comics books. If comics books are available in your city, you should start reading comics books and graphic novels also. There are many graphic novels in market. Mouse is one of them. Mouse by Art Spiegelman. It is a story of Holocaust. Art Spiegelman has also got the Pulitzer Prize. A graphic novel has got the Pulitzer Prize, the highest literary award given by the American government. So, or in America, to American authors, this award is given by American government to the American authors. Pulitzer Prize winning Mouse is one of the best graphic novels. You can also read Marjane Satrapi's. Marjane Satrapi is a French-Iranian graphic novelist. Her Persepolis, which is prescribed in many universities across India. You should also read this Persepolis. There are some good graphic novels from India also. Panchatantra stories are available in comics books. Then stories of Aesop. There is one good. Recently, I read a graphic novel from Kashmir, that is Kashmir Pending. Kashmir Pending is the best graphic novel from India. Then there is one graphic novel that is Drawing the Line, this side and that side. Then Emergency. These are the graphic novels. If you can buy, if it is affordable to you, then you should buy these graphic novels and you should read these graphic novels. Graphic novels will make you understand how dialogues are formed and how complex feelings and emotions and ideas are expressed. That's why I recommend graphic novels. Then, apart from graphic novels, you should also read some important novels or contemporary novels, especially from India. And then you can move to non-fictions also. Every Indian who is interested in reading and developing English in reading English language text and in developing their language through the text, they should read the Mahabharata and the Ramayana by C. Rajagopalachari. C. Rajagopalachari has written two books. The Mahabharata means in English. He has translated these two great epics into English, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana by C. Rajagopalachari. Actually, some students are not interested in reading serious stories. Young generation is reading romantic love story books. They are very much interested in reading the works of Chetan Bhagat, Amish Tripathi, Devdatta Patnaik, then Durjay Datta. Durjay Datta is very famous. Actually, one of my students, when one student read the book by Durjay Datta, I too have a love story. That was the first time I came to know about Durjay Datta. Durjay Datta. So these are the Indian authors whose books are being read by young generation college going students. You can read these works by these writers. But if you are interested in reading more serious, then I am going to give you a list of books that every English reader should read these books. Recently, I got a recommendation from one of my friends that I should read a book, and I bought the book and I read the book, and that's why I'm going to recommend that book to you also. The book is 100-year-old man who climbed out of the window and disappeared. This is the title of the book, written by Jonas Johnson. Jonas Johnson is a Swedish journalist, and this Swedish journalist has written a marvelous book. While after reading the book, I recommended the book to many of my acquaintances, and they too bought the book. They read the book, and they had given me the same kind of feedback. It's a fantastic book. At every point in the book, at every page in the book, you read a lot. You read you laugh a lot. You laugh a lot. This is very important book. This book can be called fictitious history, or you can call it fictitious history or historical fiction. Alan Carlson is the protagonist of this novel. So do read this book, 100-year-old man who climbed out of the window and disappeared, by Jonas Johnson. Then, after recommending small books and short stories and some popular books, I would like to suggest you that you should read the bulky novels of Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand is a Russian-American novelist, and the famous book of Ayn Rand are Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead. These are bulky books having more than 500 or 600 pages. So if you should read these two books, then you should make the list of non-fiction books, and you should read some non-fiction books also, like Pax Indica by Shashi Tharoor, then An Era of Darkness by Shashi Tharoor, then India After Gandhi by Ramchandra Guha, then Uganda, Palace of Illusion, Nehru, The Invention of India, The Elephant, the Tiger and the Cell Phone by Shashi Tharoor. These are the fantastic non-fiction books. You should read these non-fiction books to hone your reading skill and to develop a reading habit in yourself. Okay, so the more you read, the more you want to read. This is the simple principle. And by reading a lot, you can acquire the habit of reading a lot. Okay, so now I am coming to the conclusion, and I'm going to revise everything that I have spoken about. In the beginning, I told you that you should read daily, at least 1 or 2 hours a day. This was my first point. The second point, that read with purpose. Without purpose, don't read anything. Don't read just to while away the time. Don't read just to pass the time. A serious attention must be paid to the text while reading. Then do not leave any unknown, unfamiliar word unexplored. Explore the word, the phrasal verb and the idioms into a good dictionary. You must have a good dictionary with you. Then keep the marker while reading. Maintain a diary of highlighted text. Means you can write down those highlighted text into that diary. Maintain the diary of highlighted text. Then read the diary periodically. Means after a particular time you must take your diary out and you should peruse the pages so that everything can be recalled in your mind. Then read newspapers for innovative expressions and innovative ideas, innovative ways of expressing ideas. Read the newspaper and read at least 2 books in a month. At least 2 months in a month, or 2 books in a month. What I have observed that most of us, as we are from very humble background, as we are from a rural area, most of us are from rural area, we are very much fearful about English. We have a particular kind of fear, a particular kind of biased view about English language in our mind. So get rid of this bias, get rid of the fear and read a lot. If you read a lot, automatically your confidence will be increased and you will never flounder in the future. So with this, I rest my discussion and we will meet for interactive session. In that interactive session, I will surely try to solve, I will surely try to discuss the issues raised by the listeners. Thank you very much.